In video 2297, we made this thing. It's the rubber band motor, and it uses this to provide a power source. And there's lots of reasons why. One, these are everywhere. They're cheap, and let's face it, they're fun. You can make rubber band powered toys for your kids or grandkids and astound them with your mechanical engineering acumen. But perhaps more importantly is that any of the engineering principles that apply to a rubber band motor apply to anything else you can make. Equally, if you're making a machine, then I can guarantee that it doesn't matter how much time you spend planning it, how much thought you put into it, when you build that machine, something is going to go wrong. Now, of course, problems are just opportunities to find solutions, but they also cost. If you've done that in metal, then you're going to be very sorry indeed, because you're going to spend a lot of time and a lot of money making something. You're going to find that quite frustrating. It's why everybody makes a prototype of a machine. Actually, even if you go onto Thingiverse and download somebody else's machine, print it, you'll find that there's always something not quite right about it, and you're going to have to do it again. The thing about rubber band is it's easy to do it and to test your machine by powering it with something like a rubber band motor. Costs nothing, takes no time. Now, sure enough, there's not a lot of power stored in a rubber band, but you're likely to get enough to run it for a minute or two, and that's plenty of time to work out any of the little kinks, make the changes, test it again, and then make your finished version. Now, we've been using it a lot, as I say, and we've looked at ways of controlling it, ways of using it, ways of transferring the power from one thing to another. But one thing we haven't looked at is torque and speed, because torque and speed always play off against each other. I mean, that's life. In life, there are no answers, there are just compromises. You have to find a compromise, and speed and torque are always a compromise between each other. So I've printed a couple of gears. This one is 40 tooth and this one is 10 tooth. If I engage them and I turn that one quickly, that one will turn slowly. How slowly? A quarter of that one, because 40 and 10 is 4 to 1. Equally, the torque will go up. So as speed goes down, torque goes up by the same ratio. So if I turn that, this will turn 1/4, but it'll have 4 times the torque. If I turn that, this will turn 4 times as fast, but have 1/4 of the torque, and torque is just turning force. This is something people often miss when it comes to gearing things up, and they think that the same amount of torque will be transferred. It isn't. One goes up, the other goes down, and we can demonstrate that in a very simple toy. So here, I've taken the rubber band motor, and I've created these 2 axle blocks. One goes on the back and one goes on the front. When you've glued those on, we're actually quite ready to make a car. We can take our small cog and glue it onto the output right there. There it is, right on there. Now the smaller block is the front, and you take the smaller axle and one of the wheels, put the axle into the wheel, feed it through the block, and then add the other wheel. Now take one of the large wheels and the longer axle, push it in, and you'll find 2 spacers, one thick and one thin. Take the thick spacer and push it onto the axle. And the reason for that is just to take it past this so it doesn't foul. Then we can feed it into our block there. Then we add our gear, engage it, glue it in place, add the thin spacer, and then add the final wheel. Okay, now we've got the frame together, let's give this a few turns and see if it actually works. Okay, that's cool. I thought that went really quite well. I had to put rubber bands on it so it could grip on my slippery hardwood floors. Anyway, the kids are coming to visit this weekend, and their son is going through that age where he loves dinosaurs and really big trucks. So I thought I'd give him this as a toy, really, just as a bit of fun. But not like that. He won't really appreciate it like that. So what I did was print off this. It's a tractor body, of course, in JCB yellow. Underneath there's a couple of little prongs there and there, spot of glue, and that then glues right onto the axle support, just like that. Okay, let's wind it up a bit and see what happens. So there we go, one rubber band tractor toy. Now we could replace these wheels with paddles and make a boat, obviously, but I hope the boy likes it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and please do remember to like and subscribe.